Hey everyone, welcome to your yoga class this Monday evening. I'm sorry to not be with you in the studio, but I'm thrilled to be able to bring you this video of our practice. It's going to be similar to the practice that we had last week, where we start with our legs up on the wall. So if you want to set your mat over by the wall, or remember last week we worked around the post to get your legs up the wall, that restorative posture where your circulation is reversed and your heart is just flooded with all of that softness and the energy coming back to you, just like a waterfall floating down your legs through your abdomen up in to just wrap your heart up in warmth and softness. Remember that there's a trick to get into legs up the wall, and I'll head back and I'll show you that, and then we'll get started with class. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoy the class. All right, now I'm going to do my legs up the wall against the stove here. And the trick for getting into the posture is to sit with your hip, your side, your shoulder and your hip to the wall that you want to get into. Once you're nice and close, your hip is nice and close, you want to shuffle and lay back, swing your legs up so that they come to that legs up the wall, and your back, you've turned so that your back is supported. All right, so want to shuffle your way into that posture, legs up the wall, get your legs up on the wall, onto the post maybe, sitting close to the wall, turning and lifting your legs at the same time. Shuffle around until you get to a spot where it feels restful to have your legs supported this way. I'll give you a couple more breaths to get settled into that posture and to get sorted. And then I'll talk to you about the practice. Welcome to your Hatha practice, your yoga practice for this week. Remember that when we come to our yoga practice, it's just that, it's your practice, and that your breath is your guide in knowing how to make that practice specifically for you. You want to follow your breath as you move, as you hold yourself in a posture, as you shift from posture to posture, watching for, are you able to breathe with ease? Your breath is what's going to guide you to know, are you going at a pace? Are you moving into a muscle use that works well for you? If you find that you're needing to catch your breath, just slow down. Maybe not even adjust, slow down. Slow down is the way that you can attend to your breath that way. And so I invite you to do that. If you're finding you can breathe, no problem at all, maybe bring a little muscle invigoration to what you're doing and see how that works for you. You are in the legs up the wall posture. We're beginning our practice that way today to remind ourselves that our rest and our restoration are a valuable part of our practice, and that it's a gift to bring ourselves to stillness and to quiet, even for just a few moments in our day. Rest here. Notice that your back is supported by the mat. Notice that your legs feel different. They're not holding, they're not supporting your weight. All the musculature of the hips, the lower abdomen, the legs, the feet get a chance to rest and a chance to reduce that bearing of gravity on them. Appreciate the softness. Appreciate the reduction of tension in your hip. Appreciate the flow of blood and nourishment to your organs, to your heart. Let the earth hold you and support you and allow you to breathe with ease. Feel your shoulders relax. Notice that your head is held. In this posture, you can soften and relax so much of your body. Rest here. To guide your mind in this resting posture, follow your breath. Notice when you breathe in and notice when you breathe out. As you follow that rhythm of your body, it will guide you into your practice for today. Notice when you breathe in. Notice when you breathe out. Allow the breath to fill you, to lift your chest, to open into your abdomen. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So we invite our body to those nourishing breaths in, gathering what serves us well. That nourishment swirls through us. And just as equally valuable, when we release our breath, it's our body doing what we're naturally designed to do, to release what was lovely, but no longer serves us. Notice when you breathe in. And notice when you breathe out. Wonderful. You'll get a chance to rest here for just a handful more of breath. I'm going to get into the legs up the wall so that I can demonstrate our next posture. All right. We're going to start to check in with our muscles. We're going to start to bring them into gentle movement. We're going to start with our arms. So the next time you breathe in, sweep your arms up into the sky like a rainbow and let your arms lay on the backs of your arms, the backs of your hands, down on the floor above your head. So big reach up with the arms, let them rest on the floor behind you. We're going to follow in with the rhythm of our breath. The next time you breathe in, sweep your arms up through that rainbow. And as you start to breathe out, let the arms come down beside your sides, beside your hips. We're sweeping our arms up through the sky. Breathe in, make a rainbow. Breathe out, settle them back down above your head. Following your rhythm, when you breathe in, sweep the arms up. When you breathe out, rest your arms down. Let's go for 5 breaths this way. We're training into the rhythm of our breath today, tuning into what our body is asking for, and working with our natural rhythm. And the next time you have your hands up above your head, letting them rest on the ground beyond your head, and let your hands stay there. I'm going to breathe our knees in this time. So when next time you breathe in, draw your right knee towards your chest. And as you breathe out, take it back up to the wall. We'll go back and forth, right and left. Breathe in, bring the left knee towards your chest. Breathe out, leg towards the wall. Continue with your rate and rhythm of breath. When you breathe in, bring a knee towards your chest. When you breathe out, return it to the wall. Go back and forth 2 more times on each leg. The next time you have both legs up on the wall, bring them to stillness. And we're going to go into our series where we move from right side to left side, sometimes diagonals, and all our hands and feet together. So the next time you breathe in, bring your right hand up through the sky, up through the rainbow arc, and let it rest down. This time we're going to bring both arms up, so they're going to cross each other. Breathe in, left arm swooping towards your hips, right arm going up towards the sky. Let's do 4 more breaths that way. So breathe in, hands are going in opposite directions. Breathe out to rest them down. Breathe in, hands are up. Breathe down, rest them down. Breathe in and down. We'll do 1 more of those sequence. Hands up to the sky and let them rest down. We'll do 2 on each side of our leg. The next time you breathe in, bring your right knee to your chest, back to the wall. Left knee this time, breathe in and return to the wall. 1 more on each side. All right, and left side. Play with me a little bit. Keep the right leg going and get the legs going, the arms going too. Can we coordinate this? There we go. So breathe in, arms go up, knee comes to chest. Breathe out, leg goes back to the wall, arms go down. Breathe in, knee to chest, hands up in the air. Breathe out, hands to the ground, legs to the wall. Let's go 2 more times on each side. Breathe in, hands up, knees to your chest. I have to imagine you're giggling by now because I am even noticing. This is quite the coordination. Have fun with it. See what your brain's capable of. This is the extended yoga version of pat your head, rub your belly. And if you'd rather be doing that, you just go right ahead. All right, I think we've come through 2 more, but I'm in the rhythm, so I'm going to keep going. We'll do 1 more. There we go. When everything is on the ground, let it rest. If you want to bring that left or right arm to meet the other above your head so you can get a big stretch, push your arms away, press the palms away from you, get a nice stretch to the shoulder. There we go. All right, from here, I'm going to invite you to push away from the wall. That might take some shuffling. Your mat might move for you or not. You want to come so that you can get your feet to the floor comfortably, your knees in the air. I'm going to shift over to my mat here because we're going to roll our hips from side to side, gently setting our knees down from side to side so that we're twisting through our lower back. Here we go. Arms can be out at a T. They can be on your belly. You really want to keep your upper body quiet and relaxed. And we're going to allow for the hips to roll and the knees to gently go down to the side. So this is like our other movements. When you breathe in, you come up through the center. As you breathe out, softly set your knees down on the other side. There we go. On your rhythm of breath, when you breathe in, knees up through the sky. As you breathe out, let them settle back down. There we go. I'm going to do about 4 on each side. We're gently inviting the muscles behind our hips, on our lower spine, our lower back. Just start to stretch out a little, using a little bit of invigoration through your abdominal muscles to make this movement happen. A little bit of warming up, a little bit of stretching out to get ourselves started. Breathing out as your knees come down to the mat. And the next time your knees are to the ground, let them stay there and continue your breath. This is where you might stretch your arms out, giving your shoulders every opportunity to rest back into the mat. Feel the support of the floor beneath you. We're opening up this stretch along the spine. Now we're right into the lower back stretch. Here you can find stretch in the back of your legs as well. If you want to straighten your top leg and shift it forward, notice that if you move that around, you're going to find stretching through the back of the leg, maybe into the back of the hip. Just stay with this stretch a little. If you're wanting to continue that stretch up through your back and into your neck, you take your nose and direct your gaze away from that top leg. So my left leg is on top and stretching away. So I'm actually looking towards my left, but away from that stretching leg. Just imagine the twist going all the way up your spine. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Check in just any more tension that might be in your shoulders. The next time you release your breath, just invite your shoulders to relax. Just get all that twist, let it wring out any tension in the muscles along your spine. When you're ready to come out of this twist, guide your gaze up to the middle, roll your hips and your knees so that they come to the center. All right, we'll just roll back and forth here a little bit, massage the lower back. And as you're feeling ready to go into the other side, so it's a twist in the other direction, use your release of breath, your exhale. Just when you're ready, I'm finding I need a little more massage on my lower back. There we go. As you're feeling ready, use your exhale, let your knees drift down to the mat. Check in that your shoulders are resting on the mat, and you might want to stretch your arms out wide to encourage that resting through your upper body. Remember here, you can stretch out your top leg. You can extend it here to get a little more stretch. You can guide your gaze in the opposite direction, taking that twist all the way up to the top of your spine. While you're in this twisting stretch, use your exhale to check in with any muscles that might be holding tension. The earth is holding you right now. You don't need to hold tension in very many muscles to remain in this posture. I find my shoulders hold tension, and so when I breathe out, I concentrate on my shoulders and I invite them to relax. Check in with the muscles along your spine, the muscles around your hips and your legs. Even the muscles of our hands and our feet can hold tension. If you find any of that in your body, concentrate on it when you exhale and invite those muscles to relax. All right, when you're feeling ready to come out of this lower body twisting stretch, and use a breath in, bring your knees together, let them lift up to the center, bring your gaze to the center. One more time, if you want to roll your hips back and forth, massaging the backs of your hips, you're welcome to do that. When you're feeling ready for the next step, use your exhale to let your knees come back down to the side. Here, we're actually going to bring your shoulders up. So roll your shoulders over so that your hands come to touch. We're in the fetal position when we lay on our side like this. Use your hand, your arm that's on the bottom side to support your head. It might be your forearm or your hand, your elbow, but get some support in there so that your neck isn't feeling strained. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sweep our arm up. So take a big breath in. We're going to sweep our arm up and we're going to let our shoulders stretch here. We won't stay too long because we do need to use muscle to stay up in this. Let's open those shoulders. We're getting a twist for our upper back, which means an opening across the front of our body as well. So stretch that out. You might take your gaze over to that side. You might take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Feel what works best for you. Stay as long as you can stay within comfort here. And when you're ready to come out, use a breath in, breathe in, bring that arm back up to the sky, and let it rest down in front of you. You can certainly rest here for a couple breaths. This is your yoga practice. And remember that one of the gifts of our practice is stillness and finding comfort and rest. You can always use the rhythm of your breath. If you've got anything in your mind that's saying, oh, no, like we got to do something, I got to move. But, if anything comes in for you like that, come back to noticing when you breathe in and when you breathe out. We'll move to the next posture in no time, don't you worry. To do this on the other side, I'm going to use my breath out so that my shoulders and my hips come back to the ground. Got myself centered there. And then I'm going to roll to the other side. Instead of doing that, I'm going to stay facing you, but turn to your other side. Okay. Fetal position on that side, just so I can demonstrate for you. Fetal position, so knees are stacked, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Support your head. Get your comfort, and when you're ready, breathe in, sweep the arm up. You're on your opposite side, and open up through the shoulder there. Let that shoulder blade melt down towards your spine, opening to stretch those muscles. And go. Use your gaze either up. It can stay in front of you, looking towards your side. It can go up to the sky. You might even twist. Use your nose to guide you, creating a twist up through the neck, the back of the neck. This is a pretty intense stretch for me. If you're feeling like that too, use your breath to stay with it as long as you feel comfortable. It might take a few breaths to get there. And when you're ready to come out of that breath, breathe in, sweep the arm back up through the sky, and come back to your fetal position. Come back to resting on your side. Okay. You can rest here for a few breaths. I know when I open that much through my shoulder, I'm wanting a bit of rest here. And when you're feeling ready, we'll come to sitting. So take your hand of your top arm in front of your chest, press into it, walk your upper body up to seated. And we'll come to our easy seat. Remember that easy seat is whatever feels good for you today, whatever way you can sit so that you can breathe with ease. I've got my blanket with me today. And I've got blocks. We've got those beautiful, nice round bolsters in the studio. You can also use the rectangular ones and just tuck them under your bottom. I find that this gives me just a feeling of balance. My hips can open a little bit easier. My legs can go towards the mat a bit more comfortably, and I can get nice and steady. All right, we've come up to seated so that we can check in with our breath. We want to imagine that gentle, small Oh, my words are leaving me. Just a lovely little string intertwining between our spine that draws our spine up. When we do that, just like a puppet, we want to draw it up to the spine. It means the shoulders can rest down. If you're feeling any tension in your shoulders, you can roll them. Just open up just as much. We talk a lot about hips in our practice, but just as much as our hips, our shoulders have so many muscles making them work. Do all that rotation and lifting. There we go. If you've gone in one direction, and turn around the other. There we go. All right. This is it. Just try to move around any of that tension. With an out breath, just let those shoulders drift right down. To help those shoulders drift down, imagine your sternum is lifting up, making space for the sun to shine in. Shoulders back, softly lifting up at the center of your chest, that beautiful bone in there, sternum. Your head resting lightly. Make space for this beautiful breath. I'm going to invite you into a mudra today. It's when we bring our first finger and our thumb together. This way we let our other fingers sort of feather out. We turn them so that our palms are towards the sky and we rest them on our legs wherever that's comfortable. Physically, this encourages relaxation of the muscles in our hands, the muscles in our arms and our shoulders. And energetically, it reminds us that our whole body is a loop of energy that swirls through us, nourishing our body, picking up what we no longer need, sweeping it out, coming back in, nourishing our body, helping us to live well, sweeping through, gathering up anything we no longer need, and sweeping it out. Holding this mudra, softening your hands and your arms, softening your shoulders, letting your breath come in and come out, appreciating just how remarkably we are designed. There are moments I just marvel at the intricacy of how we are made. And it's remarkable, marvelous. And in this time, in your easy seat with your breathing, your mind can allow you some examples of how remarkable your body is, how remarkable your mind is. Remember emotions that have felt great. And that reminder that you are connected to all that is created. We're made of the same material as the trees and the birds, and the grass and the rocks. All of it. All of us. Something incredible. I invite you to stay in this easy seat as long as it serves you well. I am going to invite you into other postures, but if this feels great, you just go with it. Sit in that gratitude and that celebration that you were created on purpose and to be celebrated. I celebrate with you. There we go. All right. We are going to shift into, I'm going to invite you into some forward poses, into our tabletop and our puppy pose. Shelley, if you're here, I'm thinking about your knees. Just be aware of those. Know that you could do this on one of the big rectangular cushions to maybe give you some support. Know that you can always also do a lot of the posture in your seated position. Maybe I'll do it that way today. I'm going to invite you into, let me just check my notes. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. Actually, yeah, we won't even go into tabletop. I'm sorry for all of that chatter. I'm going to invite you to you can keep your legs crossed, or you can put your legs out in front of you. We're going to go into a forward fold. And if you have one of the big bolsters with you, it's a nice time to hug that in close with you. I don't have one of those with me. A block might do it. Because I want to get into the posture in a supported way. So we're going to keep our legs out in front of us or crossed. Take your hands to your side and start to let your legs out in front of you. We're going to forward fold. So start to walk your hands forward, let your chin come towards your chest, and soften into this forward fold. Here, this is where you might want some support. I don't think that's going to do it for me. Might want some support around your chest. That's where it's nice to hug a bolster. And also, as you come forward, know that it's okay to soften at your knees. It's okay to let your legs turn out. There are so many stretches that we can get in this posture. You just want to move into what feels like a good stretch for you. Stay with your breath. When we stretch deeply, like a forward fold can be, our out breath is really helpful. Notice when you breathe in and give yourself a long exhale. You can start to count your breath. Breathe in up to 4. And as you breathe out, try to breathe out for longer than 4. Count when you inhale. Breathe in up to 4. Count as you exhale. Try to stay longer than 4. All right. When you feel like you've had a great stretch along the back of your body, let your chin stay soft towards your chest. Start to walk your hands back towards your hips, slowly rising up out of the stretch. When you're ready, let your chin be the last to rise up. Big breath in, let those shoulders soften back, lift up at your sternum and through your spine. There we go. There we go. We're going to keep working through the spine. This is where we're going to get into puppy pose. We'll start in tabletop. So if you have one of the cushions, you might want to put those under your knee like this. Give yourself a little bit of softness. And you might, I'm noticing I'm putting the cushion more on my shins than on my knees. So giving a little bit of space for my, I can roll it here to accentuate it. Giving some space for the pressure not to be on my knees, but on my shins. I'll go sideways so that you can see that from another angle. You're coming to tabletop. So remember that's on your shins and knees and your hands. So if I'm on the support, I can put the support under my shins. Lots of space here between my knees. Just check in to see how that works for you. All right. So we're in tabletop. We're going to walk our hands forward so that our forearms go down in front of us. So as you breathe out, start to slowly walk your hands forward. You might come to forearms on the mat, pushing your hips up into the sky. let your head rest down. So let your head rest down to the mat, your forehead, your cheek. Depending on the angle, you might put your chin down, but just check in with your neck, see what's going to work best. We get the stretch here by pulling our hips back. Pull your hips towards the back of your space, pushing them up, pushing them back. Feel that stretch that you can get in this puppy pose. All right. When you're ready to come out of this stretch, we're going to walk your hands back. Use an inhale to bring yourself back to puppy pose. Sorry, back to tabletop. And here, we're going to go into what's called a pigeon pose. Now, be aware of how your knees work in this pose. What we do is we bring our right knee towards our right wrist. We're going to put it down. Now, Shelley, that can be, you can turn it across, you can put it under you and get that cushion up under or under your knee so that it's softened. And our front knee is going to be, our front leg is going to be bent, and underneath us, our back leg is going to be pushing out. We might turn at the hip and open the knee out towards the side, like we're half of a Y, a letter Y. We can support ourselves with our hands here. You might get some deep stretching already into the hip because our upper body weight is on our hips and being bared on our hips. If we want to bring that, make that a little different, we can walk our hands forward and rest forward. It takes a little bit of weight off the hip. It gives us a little bit of a deeper stretch in the front of the leg. So you're in a pigeon pose here, feeling that deep stretch. We're not going to stay too long. Not to worry if this, I know this is a new one for us, so not to worry if it's not quite working out. We can work on it another day when I'm back in the studio. When you're ready to come out of the posture, walk your hands back up, bring your upper body back, tuck that leg back. I invite you into a child's pose here, so sitting back on your heels, maybe bring that support under your knees, and softening down in front of you. Just letting the hips come together here. When the abdomen and the thighs come together, it's a contact that's comforting for the body. And rest your head down. When you're ready to stretch on the other side, you're going to come up out of your child's pose, come back to that tabletop position. Bring your other knee, it's going to be your left knee, up beside your left wrist, and set yourself in. I'll just turn a little bit so that you can see from a different angle the way we could do if we were in the studio. So you come from tabletop. I'm going to bring the support up with me so that I can set my knee here, supported. My left knee is up and bent under me. My right leg is back away from me. I'll find those stretches to the front of my thigh, the front of my hip. If you found it comfortable to walk your hands down and to rest down low, you can get your forearms on the ground. You can reach further. You can let your head rest down as well. This is your pigeon pose. Right, we don't need to stay too long in that posture. When you're ready, use your hands to walk your upper body up. You can bring yourself back to the tabletop position, and you can sit back, maybe get that support under your knees. Sit back on your heels and curl into child's pose just one more time. Good way to give those thighs a chance to come back to where they were after stretching them out. All right. All right, as you're feeling ready to move, we're going to go from our child's pose and shift ourselves right up to downward facing dog. So the way we do that, we come up through tabletop. We shift out if we had any support underneath us, we shift that out. We turn our toes under so that they're ready to lift our weight. Push in to your toes, lift your knees and your hips up, press them back, downward facing dog. There we go. Now, once you get here, you might want to move your feet around to find the distance between your hands and your feet. You might want to stretch the backs of your legs out. Here in our downward dog, just like in our puppy pose, we want to push our hips up into the sky. It's a really subtle movement. You're going to push those hips back and up. Get a nice stretch through your back. Nice stretch through the backs of your legs. All right, we are going to go to forward fold. We want to get our feet up towards where our hands are. You might want to walk your feet up there. That's a great way to go. If you're feeling playful and you want to give this a try, you can also hop your feet up. You look at your hands, push into your feet, bend your knees, and little hop towards your hands. Lots of bending in the knees to keep your balance. And give yourself a forward fold here. In your forward fold, your knees can be as bent as is comfortable to let your hands hang down, your arms hang loose, your shoulders stretch out, and your neck hang loose as well. Just let it all relax here. All right. And when you're ready to come to standing, take a big breath in, sweep your arms all the way to the side and up to your full extension. Big breath in. Release your breath, let your hands float down to your side. If you've got some water with you, this is a great time to get a sip. I'm just going to peek at our time just to see how we're doing for our class. All right, we're almost done. All right. So we've come to standing. Maybe you're having a drink. We've gotten ourselves up on our feet after some great work on the mat. And we're going to take time to go through some lunges. So you want to stand at your mat with your feet hip width apart, soften your knees so that it's easy to bend and to feel balanced. The next time you breathe in, shift your weight into your left leg, step back with your right leg, not too far, just about a meter, so that your whole foot can go onto the ground. When you do that, find your balance. Both feet are pointing forward. Press your feet into the mat, breathe in, lift your arms up. Warrior one, feel your strength. All right, we're going to do things a little bit differently in this lunge. The next time you breathe in, come up on the back foot, lift that heel up, turn your hips to the side so that your foot turns, and turn your front foot as well so that both feet are pointing towards the sides. As you breathe out, bring your hands to your hips, soften your knees, breathe in and feel steady here. Just check in with the distance of your feet from each other. And the next time you breathe out, I invite you to bend forward slowly. You're going to stretch your back here. So come to a spot where you can feel some stretching happening. Hold yourself there. There we go. All right. To come back to standing, I invite you to breathe in, lift up. I'm actually going to step together and take a tiny little break. I'm just going to pause the video and I'll be back in just a second. All right, the beauty of pausing a video is I can take a quick little bathroom break and be right here back. You don't even notice. All right, we were at your straddle. You had done a nice stretch forward. You're bringing yourself back up to standing. We're actually going to go around the mat today. So the next time you breathe in, you're going to rise up on your left leg, or what was your front leg, turn and turn your front foot so that you end up lunging towards the back of your mat. Right? If you followed legs with me, I've got my right leg forward, my left leg back. I'm checking in to make sure that my hips are square with the front of the mat. I'm going to breathe in, bring my hands up beside my ears. I'm going to use my abdominals to tuck my hips under and draw my center up nice and strong. There we go. All right. The next time you breathe in, we're going to step forward. Arms up. The next time you breathe out, shift your weight into your left foot one more time. Lunge back with your right, hands can come to your hips. This warrior one posture, take the time to shuffle your feet so that you feel like you've got balance and strength in the distance that you've got your feet at. Really feel that you're pushing your feet into the mat, yet you're gripping with them. There's real strength in your legs and your feet. And this is a posture to appreciate and notice just how strong you are. All right. The next time you breathe in, you come back up, bring your back foot, your right foot up. You're going to turn so that your feet are both facing the side of your mat. We're going to go into that forward fold one more time. So breathe your arms up. We'll release your breath down, bring your hands to your hips and continue forward. Softening your knees, stretching your back, folding forward. Here we go. Find a stretch. It might be in the backs of your legs. It might be in your back. Might be in your neck. Just see where the stretch is for you today. We'll stay for 2 more breaths. Always a great gift to our brain to get our head below our heart. Let some of that good circulation just flood into our brain. All right, when you're feeling ready to come out, use a breath in. Here's a trick. Pull your shoulders back together. Pull your shoulders towards your spine. Lift yourself up. Here we go, up to standing. The next time you breathe in, up on your back heel, which is your left. Turn your hips forward, also turning your right foot so that both feet are facing forward. One more time. Feel the strength of your legs. Feel your feet grabbing into the mat. There's a scissoring that's happening with our muscles here where we're pulling, using the tops of our legs to pull our leg up into our hip. Feel all that strength happening for yourself. I'm really enjoying a piece of physiology research that's being shared a lot on social media right now. And it's that when we flex our muscles, that our muscles are like, are part of our endocrine system or our hormone system. And when we flex our muscles, it's like a pump for pumping feel-good hormones through our body, into our brain, through our bloodstream. Every time we flex our muscles, we're giving ourselves the benefit of those feel-good hormones. This is one of my favorite postures for getting my legs pumping. Even while you're here, just let your legs relax. You'll stay standing and then pump them, pull the muscles in together. Notice how strong you are. And remember, those muscles are giving you a great gift. All right, we'll come to standing the next time you breathe in. Sweep your arms forward. Come to standing. As you breathe out, let your arms drift down to your sides. There we go. I think we'll do a balance posture just before we get back down to your mat for a little bit of Shavasana. So I invite you where you're able to look forward from your mat. Bring your feet under you, so hip width apart. We're going to pull our knee up. So the next time you breathe in, shift your weight into your left foot and lift your right knee. Bend at your right knee, lift that right leg up a little bit. You start here with your toe or part of your foot, the front of your foot on the ground. If you're wanting to lift, go for it. Lift the foot up, lift the knee up. You can link your hands behind your thigh or around your shin, drawing that knee up. Find what's going to work great for you today. Now, you know I love a good playful balance. If you want to play with your balance here, we're going to move the knee. So it's to draw the knee out. Hold your balance. There you go. It might be to draw the knee across your body. You might do a bit of a twist. If you're still with me, take your arm out and pull your arm towards your back. Look towards your side. So change your point of view and see what happens. You might get some wobble. Remember, this is all about playing with what's possible in our body. All right, use a breath in to bring that all back to the center and let your leg down. Breath out. There you go. Even my leg got a little tired there. You gotta watch. Sometimes I get a little into it, and if you're not following me, that's okay. Remember, it's your practice. All right, shifting onto the other side. When you breathe in, shift your weight into your right foot. Set your left foot where it works best for you in this balance. If you're staying here with the toe on the ground, enjoy that. Your right leg is bearing weight. You're still doing a lot of balancing. You can use your arms for the balance. You can reach them out. You can reach them in. Give yourself a big hug. All of these changes get our brain to recalibrate. Might reach them up. You might twist. Lots of ways to play here. There we go. All right, when you're feeling done with your twist, make sure you bring yourself back to center. Use a breath in and a breath out to finish up. All right, I'm going to invite you back down to the mat. I'm not there, so if you don't squat, only you're going to know. It's all good. But if you do want to squat, step your feet about mat width apart or wider than hip width. Remember to put your toes at 11 and 1 o'clock so that your knees bend out and open your hips. Breathe in, big stretch up. As you breathe out, palms together, elbows heading for the inside of your knees. Squat right down. Adjust your feet if needed. You find where you can have your full foot on the ground and deeply sit in your squat. And stay here as long as it serves you. And get yourself right to the mat. Whatever works well for you, right? This is your practice. Your body's going to tell you what edges it wants to play with and which ones are just a no-go today. Totally up to you. All right, this is where I invite you into your Shavasana. Remember, you can lie down on your back or your side or your belly. You can sit. You can put your back up against the wall or the poles in the studio. Let's take a moment, give you a few breaths to get settled in, to allow the earth to hold you, and to soften back into a restful posture to bring your practice to a close today. Welcome to your Shavasana. Remember that your Shavasana is the time when you make room for your mind and your body to do what they are designed to do. A Shavasana is our time when we rest and we get out of the way so that our mind and our body can work on restoration. Our body and mind can take in and review and filter through your experiences of the practice and any other offerings that your body has held on to. Your body and your mind watches all of that swirl through you, and it will gather what serves you well, because there's an inherent intelligence to you and your body. It will gather what is great for you and form memories somewhere in you being. It will also recognize what you no longer need and allow you to release that in a formless and harmless way. Rest in your Shavasana. You can guide your mind by watching your breath. Notice when you breathe in. Notice when you breathe out. I invite you into one final gesture in your practice today. I invite you to bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your abdomen. I'm going to repeat our words of intention 2 times. I invite you to repeat them with your mind or with your voice. And if you have other words of intention that come up for you, I encourage you to use those instead. Your words are your wisdom coming up to be known by you. And I encourage you to hear them. May my yoga practice heal and strengthen my body and my mind. May my yoga practice heal and strengthen my body and my mind. When we come to our practice, we come to know ourselves just a little more, and we're stronger for that. When we come together to practice in our community is stronger for it. And for that, I thank you for your practice today. I look forward to being in the studio with you again after the March break. And I hope you can take this beautiful energy of your practice with you through the remainder of your day and as you walk forward into the world. I invite you to remain in your Shavasana as long as it serves you. And when you're ready to step out into the world, I invite you to do that in a quiet and gentle way to hold the space for those around you. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again soon.